Hello, everybody. This is Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of people going live right now. 60 Revs got a full panel talking about just Pearly, and ugh, the less I say about that is better. But I want to talk about this entitlement that women think that men supposedly have over women's bodies, and I'm like, because we talk about the whole Michael Irving thing, and well, black men are touchy feely, and they need to control themselves. And I'm listening to all this, and I'm like, okay, touch on the shoulder, you're shaking someone's hand. That's in a professional setting, like touching people's hand. I got coworkers who just hug people, but they know them, you know. And shaking other people's hands is normal procedure in when you're talking about business. Now, I get what they were trying to say. Yes, black men should be more careful about being around black women, white women, any women, in my opinion, because I've had black women at my job on men. So this ain't just a white woman situation. It's not even a black woman situation. It's women in general. You do need to be careful as a black man, especially in a corporate setting. Um, but to say that some of these men feel entitled because they doing what's always perceived as normal interactions, it's always it seems like people think this. Oh, men have an entitlement to women's bodies. I'm like, I don't see the entitlement, especially if that was normal. Touching a person's shoulder, shaking their hand, that's normal, been normal interaction forever. It's just been normal interaction. Now, I'm not a touchy feely person anyway. I don't like men touching me like that. I don't like women touching me like that. I don't like women hugging me. If I don't know you, I don't that's just me. I'm not a touchy feely person. Back in I remember back in middle school, I would see guys and girls massaging each other, and my personal thing has always been that's more of an intimate thing. But stuff like this, I don't think this is a entitlement issue. This is just normal operandi. People touch, hand, paddle, shoulder, something like that. And then it's kind of like you're confusing stuff like that with grabbing a woman's ass or grabbing her breasts and stuff like that. It's kind of like I think people are conflating two different things. Listen, yes, there's some yahoos who will grab a chick's ass and grab a breast like that in a club, but you're dealing with drunk folks. When you talking about touching the shoulder and trying to shake someone's hand, that's more in a professional, in a friendly setting. Now, I understand what they're saying. Well, the white women will, yeah, they will make up a lie, but as you see with the Michael Irvin case, nobody's believing this shit at all. Nobody's believing her. And then when you look at the Michael Irvin case, this was something that happened at a fucking strip club. They bringing up something happened in 1997 at a strip club with people drunk and high, as opposed to this was in a bar, and you look at the tape. Where she trying to say he was drunk and stuff, he wasn't even drunk. It's kind of like they want to make like men feel entitled. It's like nobody feels entitled. If this was normal interaction that you see every day, you're going to think it's normal. And again, I think it's like it's this. Um, hey, hey, peace, love. How you doing? And it gets to the point where it's like, okay, so normal interaction that been going on since the dawn of time. I've seen men touch women on the shoulder, grab their hand. I'm good. No, I'm off my second off day, so I'm doing good. You talk about normal interaction. Now, I understand there's a history with black men and white women, and we understand that. But he wasn't alone with her. He was in a hotel with cameras, and all he did was touch on the shoulder. Now she backed up, shake the hand like normal interaction with people would do. I still don't see where that he feels entitled to do that. And then when you look at his history, he does that with everyone. This wasn't a woman thing. This he does that with everybody. Now I can understand if he was doing that just with women, okay, but he does it with everybody, men, women, everybody. I don't think he feels like he's entitled to touch someone. It's normal interaction that's been going around. And men have been doing this forever. They've seen people do that, hug, shake hands, stuff like that. It's, it's been normal interaction. As are there some dudes who feel entitled? Maybe, but you don't even see some of these talking points. You don't even see this in real life. People don't talk like this, and it. I'm looking at it like it's getting to the point where we want to keep as separate as possible, and you're conflating stuff, and it's kind of like, okay, no, normal interaction that's been forever. Now all of a sudden it's not normal. Well, I don't want to be touched by a man. Okay, okay, fine. You be like, oh, hey, simple. But it's like this whole thing was saying men feel entitled. I'm like, you don't hear this in real life. You don't hear women in real life saying that to men. Oh yeah, I feel entitled to touch me. I'm like, what the hell? Nobody would say this in real life. This only stuff that's said online. It's only said online, and it's kind of like, okay, do you want interaction with men, or do we want interaction with each other? My pet peeve is people conflating. That's what I'm seeing. It's like we're conflating dudes grabbing chicks' asses and touching breasts and touching people in inappropriate places with stuff that is considered innocent. Touching on the shoulder is not considered a sexual act. I'm like, where have we ever considered that a sexual act? Holding, shaking hands and stuff like that, that's not considered a sexual act. I'm it's gotten to the point like they don't want no interaction. with each other. And you're going to get what you ask for. You got men now that don't want to approach women. And you got women complain, well, why they don't want to approach? Well, you said normal, just normal interaction is wrong. You're conflating certain things that happen, like dudes catcalling, hey, you got a nice ass or something like that, with, hey, you looking, hey, darling, how you looking? How you beautiful today? You're conflating two different things. So now guys are like, okay, I'm not gonna approach. I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna mind my own business. And then you get mad at the men for doing that. So it's like they can't win. There's no winning with any of this. Oh, you can't touch it on the shoulder. This has been normal interaction. You can't grab her head. I'm, I'm not trying to hold her. What you talking about? And again, back to the Michael Irvin thing, everybody's looking at, yeah, this chick on some bullshit. But she white, so he'll get away with it. Everybody's like, this is some bullshit. And they just automatically assume Michael gonna lose. And I'm listening to this, and we look at the Marriott was holding the tape. So the judge got even pissed because they know it was bullshit. They know they try to hustle, and they got caught out there. Everybody's seeing this. That's why they're turning against these Karens. They're turning against these Karens because they see that this is some bullshit. These white men are not just believing these Karens no more. They're like, we don't see the problem here. And I'm like, and I brought up, I have seen white men do this, touching shoulders, grabbing. Hell, I got African coworkers, all they, touching, hugging. Now I'm looking at that like, hey, I don't know this woman. I'm not hugging nobody. I don't like doing it. That's just me. But these are just normal, innocent interactions that they're conflating with actual stuff that we know. Everybody knows. You can't be running up and grabbing a chick on her butt, on her breast, on her vagina, on her legs. People know this. The only dudes who are doing that is like drunk folks and dudes who on some bullshit. But just stuff that's considered normal interaction, they're like, oh, y'all feel entitled to our bodies. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No more. It's just it gets to the point where it's like I I think they want to hold black men up so like accountable for all these, especially these managers. They want to hold all black men accountable for what some fucking Yahoo did, and they just feel like, oh, any type of touching a black man does on a woman is wrong. And some of it, it's like you're getting towards like the feminists talking about that. Any kind of touching that a man does on a woman's wrong. It's just wrong. And every touching that he does it's a sexual thing behind it. It's like it's not usually the case. Michael Irvin is a prime example of that. He don't, because what he's seen and what he's done, he does it to everybody. Nobody has an issue with it. Now, yes, this one was trying to make a bag and it's not working. It seemed like Marriott was trying to make a bag. It didn't work. It's not going to work. He's going to get off for this. And he's going to make a bag off of Marriott. But the biggest thing that I'm taking away from it is that There's some women on here that feel like men are they feel that men feel that they're entitled to women. Are there some that feel like that? But in real life, people don't feel like that. They don't talk like this. They don't move like this. This has just been normal interaction since we were children. And people have past traumas they need to work through. Yeah, it just it's it's becoming apparent that there's some women who feel they feel like their past traumas, and then they look at the past traumas of what happened with it, Emmett Till and all that stuff, and they put in everything that a black man does with oh, they want to be close to whiteness. I'm like, he has a black wife. He does this with everybody. He's in a professional setting. That's what he do. Nobody's been having problems with it. And they brought out the whole thing with his that case, which was dismissed, and setting was totally different than what you have here. That was in a fucking strip club. I mean, it was a totally different thing. This man hadn't had no trouble since what 97. That's like over what almost 30 years. Man, cleanup is like it's like again they want to project, but yeah, like people have control issues. People have post trauma. Yeah, again, and they want to project that on everybody. See, this is why black men don't succeed because they think they too friendly. What do you mean too friendly? He's doing what people have been normally doing. I see men and women go up and hug somebody and shake hands and stuff like that. This has been normal interaction. And instead, they take that as this is what men do. They feel entitled. I remember there was a post that this woman did where the guy um, helped her with a car, and she shook his hand. Now the guys made the comment like, I would have just took a smile. I would have just I would have been I would have just took a smile and been done with it. And she blew it up, and then there's this whole thing. Women feel entitled. They want to tell us what to do, how to smile on command. And I'm like, oh my, what is this? And you wonder why dudes don't want to interact with you. The dude was, it was a, I remember he said, "You much too pretty to be given a handshake," basically flirting, giving her a compliment. And it's like, so you don't want even men to give you compliments anymore. But then you have it where now women are complaining these men don't want to interact with you. Well, hell, you make just normal interactions, innocent interactions, seem like the worst thing ever. And you wonder why nobody want to interact. Why the workplace is getting to be a hostile place. Why you don't even have like company meetings. Nobody want to hang out because it's like people feel stifled. Now again, we know inappropriate touching, grabbing the ass, grabbing her breast, grabbing grabbing the leg, which would be considered sexual. We know all this. Now, if that dudes do that, yes, they need to be reported to HR. Sexual comments. If the woman don't want to hear that shit, and he keep doing it, yeah, he should be sent to HR. But I'm like, but but you're confusing normal interactions Then you have this, well, when the black men did it, they had their history with white women, and like, yes, they know their fucking history. But there's also this also history where certain touches are deemed innocent. It's deemed innocent. Everybody does it, and you're conflating that with all this other stuff. And you're like, now people don't want to. They don't want to interact with you no more. And it's like, okay, well, we're just not going to interact. And they're like, well, he should know better, and he should be doing. I'm like, oh my, like this man is in a professional setting. That's how he acts with everybody. What are you talking about? And I feel like it's like, do we even understand what entitlement means, or do we understand what we see as normal interaction, not some entitlement like men entitled to touch women? There's no man going around saying in real life. I have never said a man going around in real life saying, I'm entitled to touch a woman. This is only stuff that happens online, and it gets weird. And I'm on that panel, and I'm like, this is some weirdo shit. That I'm like, I see why people don't want to interact no more, because we got a lot of people. Again, like you said, peace, love. They're projecting their past traumas on everybody, and it gets to the point where um you're like, man, I don't want to interact with none of you. Now again, if you don't want to be touched, all you gotta do is just say, hey, don't touch. Now, of course, sexual touching, you already know, no, that's a no-no. But if something like this you consider is a violation, that this seems like this is men entitled to do stuff like that when they've seen normal interaction. I don't know what to tell you. People are, it's like they put in this their past, and hyper and somebody said in the chat, they hypersexualize everything. And we talk about how men hypersexualize women, but women hypersexualize men too. Oh, he touched me, he wanna fuck. Like, no, no more interaction. I'm like it's like, wow, it's like, do we want to be around each other, or do we not? Which way we want to go? But you know me, listen. I'm not a touchy feely person. I'm just not. I get heebie-jeebies when women just come up and hug me, and I don't know you. No, I don't like that. Okay, that's just not something I like to do. Grabbing my hand. I have female coworkers who've done that, and just like, what the f is going on? But that's me. Can't speak for everybody, especially stuff that's kind of been like, especially like handshakes. That seen as men being entitled, and it's just like the weirdness of people out here gets to the point where I just like, I don't. I think they're confusing sexual, which we can clearly define as sexual. And no, you should not be doing that unless everybody agrees. With innocent stuff like this that has been deemed normal by everybody, now it's kind of like, all right, well, so we don't want to interact with each other. Okay, well, look, just don't interact. I mean, that's how you want to go. Just don't interact. But then don't complain when the guy's like, "Hey, no, I'm not helping you. I'm not doing nothing." Because if I gotta walk on eggshells to be around you, I'm just not gonna interact. Because just like there's women who be vigilant and protecting themselves to the point of absurdity, men are going to do the same thing. And you can't be mad when people do that. You can't be calling, oh, you don't want to interact with a woman. Well, no, when you hear messages like that, why would I? So it's like you want me to walk on eggshells around you. Well, no, I'm just not going to be around you. It's just the way it's going to be. Like you said, you want to protect. We want to really protect each other. We want to protect ourselves. Well, that's how that's going to be. And so now we don't interact like that. It's going to be business as usual, and it gets stale. Now, like I said, I teach men to be careful, just personally, especially in a corporate setting. You're the last to get hired, the first to get fired. So you definitely got to be careful how you interact with everybody, men, women, everybody. That's just how it gonna go. Especially when people have thoughts like this, you definitely need to be, uh, nah. I keep it business as possible. No, don't keep away from me because it's like you got women who thinking that men are entitled and when men are like, I don't feel entitled. What's going on? And you even making normal interactions seem weird. It's like okay, well, just not gonna be around. How's that's how it's gonna go. I don't know. It just seemed weird to me, and that's just me. And it's like you how are we gonna get this to this unity part if you're thinking just normal interactions that have been normalized for many years is wrong, and it's just men wanting to touch women so they can touch them sexually, get a sexual thrill, when nothing can be further from the truth in this situation in situations like this. And it is getting to the point where it's like do you want interaction or you don't? And then let's look at the other way. You got women who do that to men. Are you going to give that same speech to them? Because there are women who just hug dudes for no reason, touching dudes for no reason. Are you going to give that same speech to them? Or it's just, oh, it's the men doing it, so we need to focus on the men and let the woman breathe. I'm just saying. I don't know. Just seemed very weird to me. But what do I know? I'm just a black man. I'm just a black man. You know how I go. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. We don't know nothing about the world. We don't. We need our black women to teach us, and y'all don't want to listen to us. I'm like, okay, we'll listen to you, but you don't want to listen to us. So it's kind of like, all right, you want us to listen to you, and you all right on everything, but when we try to talk, you're like, see, these things don't want to listen to us. I'm like, no, I hear you. I'm not. I hear what you're talking about, but you're taking you like say conflating different things, and then you wonder why people are confused. But anyway, This is Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow. Well, I may do it late tonight, depending how I'm feeling. We're going to talk about Austin Holloman blaming Pookie for the issues of the Passport Bros. And I'm like, yeah, you being hypocritical, but it seems like the same thing black men have been doing in these spaces for a minute, blaming Pookie for their problems. But anyway, this is Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. Black men, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. I'm out.